Hi, so as you can see from my hair and the rest of myself, I am completely flabbergasted by the fact that it is so freaking warm here in Kolkata. If you haven't checked the weather app or been taking daily updates on the weather, you'd see that it is 36 freaking degrees over here. And because of the fact that I didn't really want to eat anything, I just wanted something really cold that still had a kick of coffee in it but wasn't, boiling, blistering hot like a cappuccino or something. So I decided to try and make one of the most famous cold coffee drink things that you get in barista, and it actually came out quite well. So I think that is what basically inspired me to do this video. So I'm going to be giving you a couple of recipes for some really nice summer drinks, which will not only help you cool down, but they are really economical. They're not going to be very expensive or anything, and you can basically make these with stuff that you have around the house already. So one of the first ones which I made was an iced mocha. So basically what you're going to need to do is take about a little less than one and a half cups of water. You can use regular water, you can use cold water, that is really your choice. You're going to need about 1 heaped tablespoon of milk powder. You're going to need 2 heaped tablespoons of coffee. I personally like my coffee, so I went for 2 heaped tablespoons. If you're not as big a fan as coffee, though I wonder why you wouldn't be, but anyway, if you're not, you can always go between 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of coffee. Depending on how much of a sweet tooth you have, I personally don't like my coffee too sweet, so I went for about half a teaspoon of sugar. And you're going to need a lot of ice. Okay, so basically what you do is you chuck it in the blender or the mixer, and you just blend it, mix it, whatever, till everything is completely blended, and you serve it up in whatever you want. I like having it in a mason jar, and I got this mason jar from Newmarket. Wait, let me just show you what it looks like. Here, I got it from Newmarket, and I spent $100 on it, which I think is really great, because these very same mason jars, I kid you not, on places like Chumbak and all are about 400 odd bucks. Whereas if you just spend a little money and go to Newmarket, you can get these for like $100. You've got these ones, and if like me you watched a lot of Tom and Jerry when you were a kid, you'd see that they've got these milk bottles, that we saw as kids. They've even got mason jars shaped like that, which are about 100 odd bucks also, which the same thing if you look on Chumbak and all are about 400 to 500 odd bucks. So that is one recipe. Another recipe I personally love is a milkshake. And I'm not talking about just chocolate sauce with milk in a blender. No, that is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is loads of ice cream, a little bit of milk. If you want some peppermint, then maybe some Chlormint or good peppermint candy. I prefer it with a mixture of chocolate sauce and Bonvita and coffee. So that, and some ice. What you're basically going to do is take 2 scoops or 1.5 scoops of ice cream, which is slightly melted, just till it's like gooish of sorts. Chuck it in the blender or mixie, whatever. You're going to take about half a cup of milk. You're going to take about 1 tablespoon to 1.5 tablespoons of chocolate sauce. Any kind of chocolate sauce will do. Or you can take, say, 1 teaspoon of chocolate sauce with 1 teaspoon of Bonvita, or 1 teaspoon of Bonvita with 1 teaspoon of coffee. That is really your choice. That sugar as required, depending on how sweet you want it. Loads of ice. I would suggest, since it's got ice cream and stuff, you might want to take your ice, put it into maybe a towel, and just go whack and sort of disintegrate the ice a little. Make like teeny tiny shards of ice, and chuck it in the blender, and again mix till everything is blended, and then again serve it up. So that is another recipe. And yeah, I would suggest, if you're gonna use that, and if you're one of those people that really like a lot of whipped cream and all, you can always get some whipped cream if you want, either available at Spencer's, or you can just take fresh cream and take out all the cream, get rid of the liquid, and on an ice bath is basically a cold steel bowl preferably, with a lot of ice. and you put another bowl on top of it with the cream, and you keep beating it. Okay, you can use a hand beater or a machine blender and keep beating it till you get soft white paste, and that you've got whipping cream. You can garnish it with some whipping cream and maybe put a little bit of coffee powder on top, whatever. So that is a serving suggestion. That's second recipe. Third recipe that I love a lot, which was something my mom had made for us last year during summer. What we did was we cut up some limes, we cut up some cucumbers, and we put it into a jar and we mushed it like a lot. And at the same time we cut up some other limes, about maybe, since we were making a pitcher, so if you're going to make like a jar, like maybe not a jar, maybe like a glass for yourself, I would suggest say 1.5 limes. I mean, I personally like my zestiness a lot, so 1 lime to 1.5 limes, juice it out. Another separate lime which you need to cut into like those thin round things. Half a cucumber maybe, or if you like the cucumberness, then maybe 1 entire cucumber. Little bit of sugar, again depending on your taste. A lot of water, and this is gonna sound weird, but maybe just a splash of lemonade concentrate. Like you get those diluted juice or lemon, what's it called, shorbat, like lime juice concentrate. So a little bit of that. What you're gonna do is you put it in your whatever serving glass thing, and you put your limes, which you cut into those tiny pieces, and your cucumber, and you take a small little spoon and you just mush it. Okay, after that is done, you add your water and your lemonade and you mix it, and you add your sugar after that and you mix it as well, and then you just top it off with a little bit of that lemon concentrate and you mix and you're done. And if you wanted a little bit of khatta meeta, then obviously you just add a little bit of black salt, depending on again how khatta you want it. That is that lemonade. Cucumber lemonade sort, yeah, that. If you want something, say, which is alcoholic, I would love to suggest a mojito, but I think that's something that almost everyone knows how to make. What I would suggest is get whatever berries or fruits you can find during this season and cut some of them up. And if you've got a couple of berries, cut them up, take out the stalks and everything in a pan, about a little less than half a cup, not even half cup, but this much of water, with about 2 tablespoons of sugar you put on a pan which is on fire, and you mix it, and you add the strawberries as well, so that you get this coolie thing of sorts. After that, you use a strainer and get all the mush of it out, so you've got the juice left. After that, what you do is you take whatever seasonal fruits you've got, you chop it up and you put it into a pitcher, and you top the pitcher off with the concentrate that I told you how to make, the mush. After it's cooler, you top that up. You add the juice of 2 oranges, which should be about a cup or so, the juice of 1 lime. You add all of that, and you top it off with either white wine, or if you're going all fancy, then some champagne, but I would suggest white wine, and you put the little bit of the concentrate that I told you about, and you stir it off. And then if you want to serve, how you serve, just put a little bit of the fruit which is already there with a ladle, and then everything in, ta-da, you're done. So that is one. That, and if you want to make smoothies, different type of smoothies, there's one which I like a lot, which is with bananas, some almonds, yogurt or doi, and a little bit of sugar with maybe a wee bit of milk. So you take about a cup of doi or yogurt and chuck it into a blender, take 1 banana and chop it up, take a handful of almonds, skin them off, and then you go whack, cut them up into teeny little bits, and then chuck into the blender. If you want, you can add the little ice, that is really your call, and add just a wee bit of milk, so that it takes away from the thickness, it makes it easy enough for you to pour. Put into a blender, add how much ever sugar you want, and just whiz it up. And that is one way of making a banana smoothie. You can add different kinds of fruits depending on what fruit you want, and you got smoothies. So I think this would be helpful for a lot of you, because with the current status, I don't think anyone really wants to eat anything that is really solid. So how about you try a couple of these recipes and then let me know how they went, and if you did improvise them, and then tell me how the improvisations were. But I'd love to hear back from you if you do try the recipe. So yay, thanks.